But anyways, I mentioned the new stove. We got the new stove and refrigerator. And I'm not going to go into a whole long dissertation about this, but this is a helpful household hint for people who are thinking about purchasing appliances like this. Don't just measure the place where it's going to go and determine that it fits. Measure the path it has to take to get there. Because we got this brand new refrigerator that Stace had picked out, and it's got a video screen on the front door. And you can watch TV, and you can watch YouTube, and you can watch the streaming, and you can get on the Twitter, and it doesn't just got to call it a refrigerator. It's got a camera that shoots inside the fridge to show you what you've got. And if you turn the labels the right way, it will somehow mark it down for you when you're running out, and you can order it on the Instacart automatically. I was watching The Rifleman in the kitchen last night on the refrigerator door. I've never seen shit like that. Mama Cornette she'd be incensed that people spent their time that could be curing cancer and feeding hungry children to fucking come up with a way to watch TV on the refrigerator, to be quite honest with you. But it's the goddamnest thing you've ever seen, right? And it's huge, and you can open one of the doors two different ways, so you get the filtered water pitcher out, and it makes two different kinds of ice, and it's got the different settings, and it's on the... Apparently, you can use your phone to call this thing and tell it to pour you a fucking drink. I don't know. But...
You could text it a message or actually call it up and say something to it.
I'm afraid to speak to it. I'm afraid it won't like me. And if we get off on the wrong foot, then my sprites will be hot. So fuck it. I'm just gonna stay over here in the corner. And when I walk up to it, I'd knock first before I open it. I'm afraid, I might disturb it.
Yeah, and then you're gonna reach some scary future where the fridge starts telling you you've had too many sprites. Yeah. No more sprites.
Oh boy. As it is, again, I knock and I feel funny when I put my fingers in the slot on the door. It's like I'm intruding on it. But so the guys, they come, they bring the truck, and they're going to take the old refrigerator and put it out in the garage because our friends from Versailles came and picked it up. They wanted it for their garage or whatever.
Junkyard.
They don't have a junkyard. There's no such thing as junk in Versailles. It's where the polo ponies roam free. But anyway, the guy bringing the truck in, I said, "You're going to put that one in the garage, and then the stove goes and bring it." And he looked at the old refrigerator, and he looked at the doorway in between the TV room and the kitchen, which doesn't have a door on it. It's just an archway. It used to years ago have a door. We took it off. But he's looking, he says, "The new one is more big." I said, well, I measured here, and it only sticks out 2 more inches this way, and we can deal with it. He said, "No," and he pointed at the archway, and he pointed at the door to the garage and the TV. He said, the new one is more big because we got that one in there. He knew that much. So what they had to do was they had to bring this, and it's giant squares, well, not square, rectangular, solid black. It's immense. It looks like a fucking tank. They had to bring it in this apparatus where they had these slings over their shoulders, and it was up under the goddamn... Well, have you seen these people now? They carry things with this strap apparatus on their shoulders where they're walking with it without having to put their hands up under it. Have you seen this?
Right, the strap, yeah.
Oh, the strap. Okay.
Well, I've moved a few times. I've used it, yeah.
Well, back when I moved, we were lucky to have a truck. Used to have to, my first 2 moves, we had horses but anyway. So they carry this thing in. They have to open the front doors, both, like a DeLorean. And they have to go catty-cornered in sideways and then turn it again. And they're scratching the woodwork up there, but it's so tight. If this thing had been 1/2 inch thicker, it would have not have gone in that fucking room. But finally, we got it in there. And that started working right away. After I'd spent about 2 hours taking everything out of the old refrigerator and freezer and putting it in the freezer in the garage and the cube fridge in the office and a fucking ice chest and another styrofoam cooler and a fucking box. And then put everything back in. The stove has a convection oven, and it's got an air fryer, and it's got 2 ovens that turn into 1 big oven or 2 smaller ovens. And this is the goddamnedest thing you've ever seen. It does not have a TV screen on it. Apparently, they figure you can't watch TV while you're cooking with hot fucking boiling substances. That might be dangerous. But we've had it 4 days, and we're going to use it for the first time tonight. Because when we took the fucking shit out of the box, right? Here's the user's manual. Okay. So they all leave and everything, boom, and I sit down, I'm looking at this thing, and it's 15 pages on what not to do or you'll fuck the stove up, and or what not to do or you'll fuck yourself up. And then it goes into the same shit in a different language. And how do you use this fucking thing? I don't know how to air fry. I've never had a convection oven. And so it says for the complete user's manual, download it from such and such and such and such. So obviously, then I turn that over to Stacy. And she gets her friend John that's coming to pick up the refrigerator to print it out for us. Because he had time to do these things while I believe you and I were recording. Guess how many pages the fucking instruction manual was?
For the stove?
Yes.
16 pages?
212.
He printed that whole thing out?
You had to. When you download it and print it, right? And it came in fucking 5 different languages. But the English, it's still like fucking 40 or 50 fucking pages. And I'm looking at this thing and trying to, so then we wiped it out as per instructions, and we ran it at 400 degrees for an hour as per instructions to burn off the stench. And we've read the booklet enough to believe we used the stove top. The burners are pretty easy to figure out. But we haven't used it. We're going to try to convectify something tonight. Or potentially air fry it. I've never had good luck with figuring out how oven works, or how ovens work, rather.
Or English.
Or English, either one. Yes, that time I was so despondent. I tried to kill myself by putting my head in an electric oven. It didn't work. I can't figure these things out.
You seem surprisingly receptive to this new technology, even though, I mean, this new technology on this, you need these new appliances, and you're accepting smart versions of them.
I'm accepting them because Stace wanted them, and I about the refrigerator, I said, does it keep the food cold? And she said, yes. I said, okay, and it's big. Yes, okay, that's all. Big and cold is all I want. I'll never work this shit or try to work it, but it's nice that it's there. Now the air fryer and the convectioning, I'm thinking about making some confections in that convection. So I'm going to be playing with that over the holiday weekend.
What's your thoughts in general on air frying?
I don't know. I've never had anything goddamn air fried.
That's the thing. They've been selling this stuff for years. How come there's not one restaurant? We have the best air fried chicken you could ever have. I've never heard that.
Yes, that would be, because even if the air frying manufacturers of the air frying apparatuses were to open their own like chain of fast food air fried chicken to sell the fucking air fryers, right? Because if you don't have it, I've had people say, oh, it's great. And I've had people say, but I've never experienced it and nobody sells it. Right. So something's going on.
Outside of an infomercial, I've never seen anyone enjoying it.
Well, that's because all of the people that are enjoying it are keeping them to themselves in their own homes, and are not sharing with people and trying to feed the starving children air fried food.
Well, this will be the big test. You'll be able to air fry your own stuff and give us the verdict if it's worthy or not.
Well, I'm going to play with it because the thing is, from what I have seen of the goddamn of the instruction booklet with the stove, it tells you how to operate the air fryer, but it's not like, what are you putting in there? It's not like, do you prepare this in any particular way, or do you just stick some shit in there and hit air fry? I don't fucking know. I don't know whether you're supposed to batter it, roll it, flour it, bundle it up, turn it sideways, and shove it up that oven's. I don't know.
And I think ours has an option like super convection. I don't even know what that is.
Super convection? Fuck, I think that means that it not only prepares the food, but then it holds you down and fucking mainlines it into you, or potentially an anal probe of some description.
Well, if that's bad chicken, that may be a bad experience, but